Welcome to another video from Grey Matter Hulk. I decided to take this time in this Corona lockdown to record some more videos. Here's the curio cabinet that I had that used to be reserved for Star Wars Unleashed figures, but since it's been converted into a comic thing, here is the top shelf. Please enjoy. Like this one, the Avengers vs. X-Men. I actually bought this from Bake the Snake of one of his auctions. Here is the X23 variant. I got this from the boy who has 7 off his IG. This is a really good variant. I got the whole series. I thought it was good. I don't know why they canceled it, but they did. Here's a Scotty Young signature Rocket Raccoon #1. I got it for a really good deal. It came with the COA, so I wasn't gonna pass that up. Here is another book. This is done by Joe Quesada. This was a book that I had when I was younger. I remember it was a big deal because you think that's Professor X, but it's not really Professor X. And then Polaris comes out, she's got this crazy costume on. You're just like, what in the world? And I remember being such a cool looking book that I tracked it down, and it's also got a COA on it too. One of the other books that I bought is the J. Scott Campbell variant, the black and white of All New Wolverine #1. I've got the first appearance of Scott Lang in costume. I've got Wolverine, the legendary first fight with him and Sabretooth. I've got all of 4 of the Frank Miller runs. I think #3. I've got 2 copies of all of them. So these are my good copies, and #3 was actually graded. I've got the black suit, the first spectacular Spider-Man black suit issue. I've got Secret Wars #8, signed by Mike Zack. I went to Wizard World many years ago. It's almost been 10. I'd actually bought this book in Red Bank at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. I'd spent a summer in Philadelphia, and one weekend I drove over there because I'd always heard about it. Comic Book Man was a big deal. I got my picture taken with Ming and Mike Zapsik. They were there, and it's also got the COA too. A lot of these books, I need to get them graded. I haven't had them graded. Here is my copy of ASM 300. I bought this about 10 years ago for, I think it was $90 then. It does have a slight tear right there. It's kind of hard to see. But I bought it at a convention. I couldn't pass it up. This is a recent new purchase. I just purchased this week. It's the first Nightwing. Here's a recent purchase too. I just bought the milestones. I got this in there. Most of my milestones aren't in there, but this one's in there because the actual slab, I've got it graded. That's why I kept it there. I like to try to keep those. Here is the legendary McFarlane Hulk 340. I've got the whole McFarlane Hulk run. This is this is a classic cover. I mean, anybody, it's just one of those things. I've got the Amazing Spider-Man. I've got all the Amazing Spider-Mans through the McFarlane run. The first black suit through McFarlane's first Silver Sable. Here's one of the classic McFarlanes before 300. I've got it. I've got the first web of Spider-Man. I actually got rid of all the other ones that I had because it's a series I was trying to collect, but then I changed my mind. I just don't want to collect it anymore. I've got 315, which is Hydra Man's back. Hey, it's Venom on the cover. Is it the first appearance of Venom? Who knows? Here is my copy of 300. I think it's a pretty good copy. I need to get, like I said, I need to get these graded. Um, here's my Mark Brooks. I don't have the other Mark Brooks, but I do have this one with the trade dress on it. I wish it was the variant, but these are the two. This and the other Psylocke by Mark Brooks is amazing. Comic Kid 84, check him out. He's always talking about Mark Brooks. Here's the other McFarlane. This is $2.99. I have it. I've got the first Immortal Hulk. I've got actually the whole No Surrender series. I've got all the issues, all the way part one to whatever. It's a pretty good read. I actually liked it. That one was hard to get. I got the first Lobo, and this was a big deal when Krypton was out. Everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, get this book, get this book." I finally did get it. I got it for like $30. I thought it was a good deal. I got it at a local shop. Well, it's not local. It's about an hour and something away. Here's one of my key books right here. I love this book. John's Comics for Kids. Kept talking about Lady Killers and how great it was. And I went to the same shop and I found this on the wall. I had it on the wall, first print. And I was like, I gotta get it. So I had a second print, and I think I sold it. But I have both volumes, and I really should have kept it because I need to get this one graded. And if I want to reread it again, then I gotta either buy the trade or I gotta get this. This is an old book. I've had this forever. This is the first Cable. I think it's in pretty good condition. I mean, I don't see any problems with it. It's like I said, I've had several of these. They've come and gone. Um, then I got on this kick where I started collecting these. Another thing I got from Bake the Snake was Da 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 by Kirkman, and it was the Resaler Inventive. So this local shop that I've gotten in my work, he gets a bunch of them, and every time he's got one, I pick it up. So I've got several different ones of these. That's the Gravediggers Union. Threw this one in there because it's J. Scott Campbell's X-Men Blue. I've got the red one graded and ungraded in here somewhere. So this was I don't know, I just felt like it was a good book to have. Here's my Redneck Gold Incentive. Love this book. It's great. I would just wish it would come out frequently. I need to get caught up, but it's just so inconsistent that I don't pick it up that often. Right here is my X-Men Gold. This is my ungraded one. I have a graded one in here signed by J. Scott Campbell. I actually got that in a Comic Books NYC auction, which is really nice. Here are my two um, Marvel Team Up Spider-Man Black Suit. Is it the first time? I got a newsstand and a direct edition. I picked one of these up at local store here, and I picked the other one up, the one near my work. They're really cheap, surprisingly enough. Here's the first appearance of Maxwell Lord. Everybody's like, "Oh, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman." I got this pretty cheap too. Uh, that was a good reason to have it. But after that Tom King Vision run and the Mister Miracle, uh, and I didn't know much about Mister Miracle. I don't think anybody did. So he's there on the cover, and I was like, "This is great, just cover." As far as Blue Beetle, Doctor Fate, Guy Gardner, Shazam, Batman, Martian Manhunter. I think that's Canary. I don't know who the old dude is. I don't know. I thought it was a good pickup. Here's my variant copy of Reborn #1. I bought this whole after I found this for a pretty good deal. I went ahead and got the whole series. It's actually really good. It's a great concept. What if you die and come back in this fantasy world and you have to find everybody and defeat things, and it was really interesting. Reborn. Here is my NYX. I actually bought this from a online auction from my local comic book shop. He had it. I didn't even have any idea what it was. I just knew that it said second appearance of NYX. This happened when I was out of collecting, and I missed all of these. So I've since got them all now, but you know, it wasn't it wasn't very cheap. Um, Here's my X-23 Women of Marvel one-shot one. I actually saw this on a Poor Man's Comics auction with Tacoma Comics, and he had it, and I was like, I've never seen that before, and I love X-23, and I'm like, I gotta get that book. So I went and got it. Here is my Amazing Spider-Man 252 black suit. I bought this, but the crazy thing is, and I've never taken it out because I bought it and they put this stupid security seal on here, and I'm so afraid to take it out that I'm gonna get it stuck on something. So I've kept it in here since I bought it. I don't know. I want to. Like I said, here's a common theme. I need to get these graded. Here's my Hulk, number 8. This is my uh, picture. I love Mr. Fix. I love the Gray Hulk. I love Patch. I love this cover. One of his iconic covers. It's great. Here is my Wolverine number 1 Frank Miller miniseries. Dun dun dun. Another iconic cover. It's a great issue. Great story. Here is number 2. So I guess it is number 3. That is slab. But then again, in my long boxes, I have a reader set of these because it's such a great story. Here is my 316 Amazing Spider-Man Venom Todd McFarlane cover. I've got this. I think this is a super book. It's a little bit of it's dirty there. I can't tell. See, I need to get it. I need to get him graded. I have a graded copy of this. I bought it from White Whale Comics off his IG. It was a good sale. So I'm excited to have this book. It was a book I've always wanted. Here is my Scott Snyder. Of course, just like many things, I missed the whole Scott Snyder Detective, and then Detective 880 comes out, and you see it everywhere, and you're like, what is this thing? What's it all about? So then I had to go hunt down the one, but I have the Mexican foil variant, or the WonderCon foil variant or whatever. But I've got this one. But I've got 871 through 880, and I've also got this slab, then a CBCS slab signed by Scott Snyder. So that's why I have that one too, so I could read the story because it's a great story. Then I've got Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. This was another book I picked up at that Justice League. It was such a great deal, I couldn't pass it up. I just get it. I was like, get it. Here is Wolverine number 1 from the second series. And this is a great story, great book. My buddy had this book forever. I never had it, and I finally decided to pick them up. I think I've got like 1 through 53 or something now. They're all great stories, great Jim Lee covers, great. It's just the whole. It's going to take a lot for the new series to catch up to that. Here's another Mark Brooks. I bought this from Unknown Comics. Bought the Virgin variant of the Black Queen. This is sweet. Had to have it. It was like $13. I was like, forget it. I'm gonna get it. On my other stack, I've got Legendary First Appearance of Deadpool. I have all the New Mutants issues. Even like the special one-shots, even Fallen Sons, even the graphic novel. It took me a long time to get the graphic novel because, I thought, New Mutants number 1, that's their first appearance. And it wasn't until I watched a video of Bob McLeod, he was like, oh no, it was in this other thing. And I'm like, what the hell? So I picked it up too. Tony Sanders was showing off his Adam Hughes 4th printing, I think it is, of the graphic novel. It's got the cover by Adam Hughes. I was bidding on one the other day, but it was just too much money with the stuff the way it is. I need to settle down a little bit. Here is the Death of Elektra, Daredevil 181. I have all the Frank and Miller Daredevil run. Some of them are slabs, some of them are not. I think it's a great run. It's great Daredevil stories. I don't need to tell you that. Here is my first appearance of Rogue. As many people know, this is the worst cover ever. Oh, is that her right there? Is that you? It does have an issue up here. This has some tearing, but I mean, I've had it for a long time. I bought it, before it was like the main dish. I've got all these various Young Gun comics that I picked up. I can't remember. It doesn't tell you on the back what the issue is, but I just love these. I love them, so I went ahead and picked them all up in like a set. Marco Cicchetto, Pepe Larraz. Look at that X-23. Marco Cicchetto again. There's the Black Panther. There's also there's some other ones in here somewhere. I don't have to find the thing and stuff like that. I also managed to get Unnatural #1. I read the first couple issues. I don't know. It just wasn't. I kept #1, but I got rid of the rest of them. Here is the Iron Man gets the gauntlet. I didn't even know this happened until I saw the movie. And everybody's like, wait a minute, there's an issue. Why don't you get the comic? And I'm like, well, I don't even know he did it. So, I didn't get it then. I did wait a while. I picked it up probably this year. It was reasonably cheap. I think it was like $10. Wasn't hardly any money at all. And I'm glad to have it. I really like the cover. I picked up this another one from the Avengers, the Legendary Ant-Man on the end of Hawkeye Zero. This just wasn't that much money. I bought it too. I also bought the this comic, the Bear. I can't remember the name of it, but this was mentioned for Black Widow. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna get it. It was not that much money either. Here is my first issue of the regular Reborn. The rest of them are all my long boxes. I don't know why I pulled this one out when I already had the variant in here. I also got Avengers 181, first appearance of Scott Lang. This is when he's working for Tony as a security guy. I've also got my Teen Titans #12 B cover that nobody likes. Everybody wants the one with the Batman who laughs, but I like this one. I mean, I probably they had the one. They had the other one at the shop the other day, and it's like $80, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. I've already bought this one. I have the book. I'm not gonna buy it again. I thought the miniseries was a dumpster fire. I got this. Anybody that grew up in the '80s, '90s, Garbage Pail Kids was crazy. He had this on the wall. Regardless of the controversy, I was like, Garbage Pail Kids, yes. Deadpool, yes. Here's some more of those Young Guns variants. Here's the Thing, Mike Del Mundo. Here's the Rogue, the Russell Dodderman. Here's the Doctor Strange, Javier Garron. I don't know if this is Garin. I don't know. You guys could tell me. Here's a book I picked up in a lot from Knights of Old. The Demon in a Bottle issue. This is a really good issue. Um, I spent, it was a lot of money, and to be honest, there was only probably a handful of books that I kept out of the lot. Some of them I gave away, some of them I traded. I don't know. Here's the Incredible Hulk. I got this the other day on a sale. This is 161. I got it because of the Beast. Then I realized that this is the issue before the first appearance of Wendigo. Wendigo's mentioned at the end, but he's not really talked about. Apparently, that he's going up there to find the Beast, and they think the Beast is the Beast, but it's actually Wendigo. Here's another book that I'm very excited that I have, and it's the 9/11 tribute. Amazing Spider-Man. I didn't buy this book. I felt, growing up, being the age that I am with 9/11, I thought a lot of political things. I don't buy comic books. Like the Obama Spider-Man and all those. I'm like, you're capitalizing on the moment. I don't think it's a good idea. But then now that I'm getting older and we're coming up on, almost 20 years, I was like, man, this is something I can have. Again, I need to get them graded. I can pass down to my son, and he can pass down to his kids you know, if Corona doesn't take us out first. Here's a Spawn 227. I had no idea this book was worth any money. I picked it up when I picked up my ASM 300 because it was a 300 riff. I've also got the Amazing Spider-Man 700 with the Doc Ock. I picked them all three up at the same time. I was like, yeah, this is great. I'm going to get them all. No, you're never going to get all. Well, I guess some people do have all the 300 whatever representations and stuff. This is a first appearance of Longshot and the X-Men babies. The important thing about this is it is a double cover. I had to find this at my local shop. I already had it, and then I found it at my local shop, and I was just sitting there waiting on him to come talk to me. And I flipped it open, and I said, "Wait a minute, this is a double cover. I don't own a double cover." If you watch any Comic Tom 101's videos, talks about double covers and triple covers and air prints and all this stuff. And I was like, yes, my first double cover. I felt bad. Well, no, I didn't tell him it was a double cover. But, hey, if you don't open it and look, sorry. Here's the first appearance of the White Vision, the West Coast Avengers. It's an homage to the first Vision, which is a pretty pricey book. I know Jay and Silent Bob had one on their eBay thing, and it was a lot of money. It was a lot more money than I thought it was going to be. And I'm still trying to collect my X-Men, the first Uncanny run. And I'm like, well, if I spend $200 on this book, I could get like a first Juggernaut, or I could get something, relatively close. So this is what, this is the last one on the top shelf. This was my first appearance of Banshee. The one thing it's there is because it's relatively new. It is a 6.5. I do prefer to get these bigger books like this graded already, because as you know, I've already got all these books that I need to grade. But it's been a long time. It's been a long video. Hope you enjoyed the first shelf. Maybe I'll do another one of the second shelf and the third shelf. But stay safe. Have a good evening.